YouTube, and we're here at Tipton, Indiana, and bringing you another knife maker. His name is Dave Baldridge. We worked together for, well, he worked at the plant that I worked at when I started in 1988. He's still working out there, so we worked together for a long time. I can't add, so many years, and we worked in the maintenance department together. So we're going to show you how he makes knives out of railroad spikes. He's also making them out of 1095 steel, but we'll let him explain what he's doing out here.
And he's dubbed himself DB Knives.
Yes, DB Knives, and we have them on our website, www.helvyknives.com, and you can go check them out.
I'll include the link to that at the end of the video.
All right, Dave, you're up.
Okay, like I said, I just make them out of railroad spike knives. Me and my grandson would run down the railroad tracks and pick up these. He calls them big nails. And since we did that, I didn't know what to do with them except bring them in here and start pounding on them and make knives out of them. And it just started from there, and now it's blossomed into a little bit of everything. I got like files, 1095 steel, tool steel, and lawnmower blades. Anything that's metal, I'll probably make something out of it.
These are kind of more along the lines of your hunting knives.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
They call them Skinner knives or hunting knives or
collector's knives.
Or yeah, whatever.
Would you say that it's very rare to have a cup two that might look alike?
Yes, it's very rare, but when I cut them out on the bandsaw, I can duplicate the ones I cut out of the 1095 steel. I can duplicate them, but when I go to pound them out as a railroad spike knife, I just let the knife do whatever it's going to do, and that's how it ends up being, whatever it is. It'll just kind of talk to me as I'm beating on it.
I would talk to you too if you were beating on me. That's cool, Dave.
That's the way my wife is.
Yeah. Poor Melody. She's not out here to defend herself.
But if you want, I can just fire this thing up and start getting it hot. It takes a little bit to get it hot. So.
It's okay. We kind of want to show people who you are, what you do, and how you do it, and all that fun stuff. Because I mean, this is a big deal. I mean, to pound out steel like that, and to do your own heat treating and shaping, and then we'll show them some of your handles and some things like that.
That'll work for me.
Okay.
It's a little loud when I turn this thing on.
Oh, Skylar. And we are cooking with gas.
Yes, I do propane. I use propane to heat up everything. This forge, actually, I made this forge myself, and it'll actually get probably up to about 26 to 2800 degrees.
So you made that yourself?
I made this myself, yes.
That's interesting.
I bought the burners, but the rest of the stand I made myself. So.
Very good.
I made the anvil.
You made the anvil? No, he didn't. See? So these are how you make your railroad spike knives.
Yes.
Okay.
And I can heat treat out of this as well. So when I get done cutting the blank, I'll sit there and get it up as hot as I can get it around, I don't know what the temperature is, just glowing orange. When it gets up to glowing orange, then it's ready to quench. And that 1095, you got to quench it really quick. You don't want to let it cool down any or you'll lose the hardness of it. Same with the tool steel, you want to get it in there real quick. I use canola oil to actually quench them in. And then after that, it's a cleaning process. You just clean them and then start making the handles and buff them up as good as you can.
Yeah, you guys getting handmade skinning and hunting knives versus going and getting them mass produced somewhere else. So you're getting a glimpse of actually somebody beating them out. It's really neat.
Yes.
Some of them I put faces on them, or little skulls or whatever I can put on there.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
And that's why I got one already started. As you can see, they're already been beat down a little bit, but I get them in 2 stages. I cut them down, I get them beat down to this side, and then I clean them up a little bit, and then I'm ready to flip them over and start beating the ugly side.
I like that, beating the ugly side.
Beating the ugly
That's
side.
going to get way out there to be your blade.
Yes. And it's like kind of like a hamburger. You want to keep flipping it because you don't want the heat to just be on one side. You want the heat to be on both sides. You can actually see in there how hot it is. It's starting to already change. And the more times I put it in there, the hotter it'll get. I try to warm it up before we start doing this video, so at least have because it usually takes a while to get heat up like that.
Yeah, because you got to get them really hot, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
How long does that tank last?
I can make probably about 20 or 30 knives off that one tank.
Okay.
I have 2 tanks, but one's smaller, and it just depends how many I throw in there. Normally I'll throw in 2 at a time and beat one and then throw the other one back in and keep switching until I get them done or something like that.
Okay.
She's getting close.
I just think this is fascinating because once more we wanted to show folks what we mean by handmade, because there's always been some kind of speculation on what one considers handmade, and this is totally handmade.
Forged in fire from Tipton.
Yes. With Dave Baldridge. What'd you sugar do?
Once it comes onto this anvil, it only stays hot for so long because the anvil's hot, cold right now. But once it starts getting heat on it, it'll hold the heat. Summertime helps a lot. Wintertime takes a longer time.
Because in case you haven't noticed, Dave's a lot like us, where we don't have like specialty shops. We kind of work out of our home. You know, I mean, the struggle's real. You have to find space for all this stuff in your hobbies
and bits and pieces along the way, and hopefully you can do something with it after a while.
Yeah.
Well, that's where your best products sometimes and ideas come from.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, if I get burned, I don't want you to laugh at me, okay? Sometimes you do get burned. No, you can stand wherever you want.
You can stand wherever you want. You might get hit, but you can stand wherever you want. It's okay.
Here we go. And you always want to turn them. You never want to keep beating on the same side. Then it gets cold really quick.
Well, I can just feel my tendonitis screaming watching you do that. Oh my word.
Maybe we'll film him in 5 years and you'll have 4 arms like Popeye.
Just one arm.
Yeah, just one arm. I love it. You have to start practicing with the left. Yeah. Skylar said you need a sailor's tattoo for Popeye. Oh, see, there you go. That's great.
That's funny because I was in the service.
See? See? Now you really need one.
See, I even dressed up. There's just a few little holes in this shirt.
Well, in our defense, Rich and I both were out working in the shop before we came over here.
Yeah.
Dave don't care what we smell or look like.
No, I probably smell just as bad.
It was a long 3-minute drive over here.
Yeah, 3 minutes. A whole 3-minute drive over. We gotta turn the hamburger.
Turning the hamburger.
See, I think this
two
is...
different tongs because these can't hold that as good as these can. These are like special made pliers that I changed in where I can come back and grip it.
That's fascinating. See, since Dave works in maintenance, he can make a lot of his own tools and things that he needs to use and make his own fabrication. See, and it's starting to shape out, starting to flatten.
Starting to look like a knife, isn't
Starting to. It's an awful lot of beating, isn't it?
it? A little bit.
A little bit.
So how long does it take to get it out light now?
I can start doing it now. Since I'm starting to get a shape of it, I can actually use this side of it now and start pulling the metal back to me.
So that's got two sides to it that you use?
Yeah.
Let me see your hammer. Fascinating. So this side's going to smash it out.
Yeah, this will just smash it, but I can sit here, and if I hit it at an angle like that, it'll draw the metal back this way.
Okay.
Same this way, I can draw it back that way.
Okay.
By just tilting it up. I can just make it grow by hitting it like that.
So you got some really good aim, because I'd be wild with that thing. I'd be hitting everything but the metal.
Well, I mean,
you know,
you can, but as long as I got that ting in the anvil, that's what I like. It's solid.
Okay. I'd still miss, I'm sure of it. There's somehow, some way I'd miss it. I'd be like, oops.
Marks in it, but they will come out. It's still pretty thick, and it's not even straight yet.
Fascinating.
But it will get there.
So how long does it take you in this type of process? Because you're like in and out, in and out, in and out. How long does it take for you approximately to make this type of knife?
Probably
the blade.
A good hour, probably.
Oh wow, that's fascinating. So we'll just give you guys a glimpse of what Dave does. So again, that's how much time goes into it, and that's not even completion. That's just pounding it out.
That's just getting it to there, and then it goes to my little belt grinder.
And that's what you sharpen it on?
That's
fascinating.
What I clean it all up with. I got a new one coming, but it says it takes 2 months to get here, so.
Yeah. So that's a little one. That's like 1 inch belt?
Yeah, 1 inch, 1x42.
You got a big 2x72 coming.
Oh, you got one similar to what we have?
No, it's a little different.
A little different? Okay. Let's see.
As you can see, it don't seem like it's taking longer now, but it's heating up really good. The hotter I get it, the less I have to hit it hard. In this process, I just hit it hard, and then once I get fine-tuning it, I'll actually slow it down and try to get everything straight and all them little dents out of there, and it's getting close to that part. On that hit alone, all them dents from this side came out a little bit. Still got some on that side, but not many.
Mm-hmm. You can see some of the cherry glow on it too.
gets a little hotter as this thing starts just pounding heat right on out me.
Somebody asked, do railroad spikes hold a good edge?
Not as good as the 1095 or the tool steel. It's a softer metal. I can only get it hardened up to about 40, 45 on a Rockwell C scale. There's not a lot of carbon in here. It's more like a novelty knife than anything, this railroad spike. For me, it was a way to start making knives was practice. Like I said, me and my grandson pick up knives all over the place, or spikes all over the place. So I got all kinds of them in here. He just goes and picks them up when we bring them back here. Like I said, you can pretty much build a knife out of anything. That's an old reamer.
Interesting.
More practicing than anything. The more I practice, the better I seem like I'm getting. See, you can tell it's getting straight too, but it's still kind of thick yet. A lot of heat coming off of it.
Oh yeah, you can see the cherry glow. So that's fascinating, because that's a lot of work for a novelty knife, so to speak.
Yes. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of neat. I like doing it.
Yeah.
When I ain't got nothing going on, I don't mind coming out here and making them. I think I made 32 of these in 1 week.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah.
Holy smokes.
And that's during the winter. When winter's here, there ain't nothing to do except stay in the house in the warm, or come out here and it's warm here too.
Yeah, pound out metal. So we'll watch Dave do a little bit of this, and he's going to go over and he's going to talk to us a little bit about his handles and things that he does with them to finish them off. But this is some neat stuff.
Every time you see me hit on this side, not only is it growing wider now, but it's also growing longer. And as long as I keep doing this, I can make it grow as long as the metal lets me.
That is so cool, though. Now, what happens since that's heating up? And let's say Melody calls you for dinner, and you're in the middle of doing that. What happens if you just shut it off?
That's fine. It's still soft still. It don't get hardened until I put it in this bucket. And this bucket's got the canola oil in it. It'll harden it up as soon as it hits out of cold oil.
Okay. And then what do you do after that?
Then it's cleaning time. I just go back and start cleaning everything on it. There's a scale that gets on it, turns it black.
Okay.
Kind of like it is there on that. You get a black scale on it. But once you quench it into the oil, it gets really heavy. Like a thick black crust on it.
Okay.
I don't have any under.
That's okay. I was curious because this is new to me. You know, this is fascinating.
Maybe we could get you over here sometime, Holly, and just...
Yeah, my elbows are already afraid of you.
thick yet.
It's still kind of thick. Let's say sideways. For the sake of time, and so that people don't start going to sleep on us, I am. Can we go look at some of your handles, because some of the things that you do with your handles are fascinating too, because you fabricate your own handles and make different things. I know we've got one on our website where you actually used pennies for the handle. So there's all kinds of neat things that Dave has shown us and like brought to us.
The epoxy. I just experiment with the epoxy. This I put the walnut and the epoxy in there. And just,
so we're in the sun, guys, so it'd be a little bit hard to see here. Oh, I see that. So you've got the walnut here.
Well, this is oak.
Or excuse me, oak.
And I just cut out the pattern and then filled it with a mold. I have a mold in the house that I can do this
And
with.
how do you get this in here?
I take this to my work. They use their mill, and I just mill cut them in there at work. And I have a punch that Rich helped design, and that's what I stamp them now with. This is the first
DB.
one that I've ever got with a stamp. So
That's cool.
The ones I got out here now, eventually they'll all have the stamp.
So we've got some laid out here.
But I can only use this stamp when they're hot. That's the only time I could use that punch.
That makes sense. So what all have you got here? What'd you do here?
My checkerboard, I have maple and mahogany.
Oh, cool. And is this one walnut, or what is that one?
walnut.
Okay, and that one's walnut. And is this tool steel or 1095?
These three right here are the 1095.
Okay. So you actually cut these out?
Yes. This is epoxy, the 1095 as well. All these are 1095 steel, and all these are tool steel, except for this one. That's just the lawnmower blade.
Fascinating. So do you heat treat all of these yourself?
Yes.
You do. You heat treat all these yourself. And what would you say the hardness? These are on a hardness scale.
These right here are around 62 on the 1095.
Okay.
And this is tool steel, and it runs right around 58 on the C scale.
So just so people can get an idea, because this is my hand holding it. That's a big knife, and it's got some weight to it. Pretty fancy though. Pretty cool. I like that one too.
The acrylic handle.
The acrylic handle, yes, that's fascinating. Looks like fire. I like it. So you do all of your heat treating.
All of it.
And then you cut your own steel out.
Yes.
You kind of have a little bit of a mark, if you will, on things that you're doing now, starting to stamp them and cut out these, I don't know, what would you call those? Those grooves? Because I'm kind of dingy.
Yeah, I just call them grooves.
Some grooves.
Airflow,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, it'll give you a lot of
Airflow.
Yeah, makes it faster to chop with. Or,
Mike Myers would have had them, man. He'd have been a whole lot faster, wouldn't he?
They were. So this is Dave. He's DB Knives. I'll put a link at the bottom of this video, so you guys can go see them on our website. Right now we're offering a 10% discount, so you guys want to get in there and use that before it expires. We do have a few left on the website. And Dave still works a full-time job too, just like Rich does. So I think it's fascinating that you were able to make that many knives in 1 week, as you had mentioned, because that's a lot of work. And we understand that too. So is there anything else? And I apologize because I'm out here in the sun, so if I don't see any questions, but if there is, sorry, can't see it. But somebody said they're going to go check out DB Knives. Yes, please go check out DB Knives. We're glad to be able to bring Dave Baldridge to everybody and, introduce him as best as we can, because he's making a really awesome product here, and he does it by hand, and he works really hard.
I think it'd be cool to own a knife made out of a railroad spike.
That ain't no doubt.
That'd be something neat to have.
Especially since you got to see the guy who literally pounds it out. My elbows still are already screaming at you. I'm scared to death. So, coming from a woman who's had 3 elbow surgeries. I like you, but not that much, Dave. So, well, I think we're going to go ahead and sign off here, and Dave's going to go back to work. And I know Rich and I, unfortunately, have got to go back to work too. So,
back to the shop.
Back to the shop. Thank you, Dave, for entertaining us and allowing us to come over and see you. So,
Thanks,
all right.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Have a good day.